Derek, a very short summer break this year. As a manager, do you get the chance to switch off, or is it straight into contract renewals, new signings?
Yeah, I think probably in terms of how much there was to do, it's been a bit of a challenge, but listen, we knew the challenge that was there. We knew that by staying in the league that we could maybe try and take a step forward, try to kind of make better decisions on recruitment. And it can be a long drawn out process. I've said this before, everybody only really sees the ones you bring in, but there's a lot more that you don't get, a lot of conversations to be had that don't really come to anything, a lot of work and scouting. So of certain players, I've been leaning heavily on Russ Richardson, of course, who's so important to us as a club, because what you do in both windows is pivotal really, and if you get a chance to be successful. So managed to get a break of some sort, but you know, but at the same time working every day to try and accelerate where we are at the minute. You know, I think we've got to be pleased with some of the work we've done in terms of getting players in, because it's no easy. The English club's just getting back in the last few days as well. We don't play Rangers for another month yet. It's still 4 weeks away, and if you could take a breath and have that time to really kind of get the squad that you really want put together, then that'd be great. But the League Cup puts clubs like ourselves, particularly when there's so much to do, under so much scrutiny and pressure to be ready. Even now we're here playing against good opponents, Glentoran and Linfield. We've got loads of youngsters over with us, we're bringing trialists with us, we've got a few injuries, and the squad's going to be nowhere near where it's going to be in a few weeks' time. So it's trying to be patient with that. At the same time, we could easily have signed a host more players to have us feeling good about ourselves now and feeling comfortable about it now. But no, we're trying to kind of be really specific, trying to make sure we get the ones that we really want. And sometimes being patient, holding your nerve, allows you to do that. No guarantees with that, of course, but I think we'll have another couple of signings in by the beginning of next week. We'll certainly have likes of Rory McKenzie and Joe Wright and Kyle Vassell. We've got minor knocks back in amongst things. Matty Kennedy's got a wee bit of a back issue as well. So these boys, we're just trying to nurse through and making sure we're not putting any of them at any kind of necessary risk. But we want to be as strong as we can be, as quickly as we can be. But as long as we're as strong as we can be for the first game of the season, that's the most important thing. And sometimes I get frustrated as well that nothing's happening quick enough, but you've sometimes got to take a breath and realise and see the bigger picture.
Many transfer deals been done on the beach over the years?
Many, roller coasters. You know, I go to Florida every year, and there's significant places in Florida where I look at and I think that's where I signed him, that's where I signed him, that's where I didn't get him. But at the same token, it's you know, it's important you do get a break. It's important the players switched off. They just got just over 3.5 weeks, so they had a 2-week programme really of kind of just rest, shutting down, and then that next 10-12 days really just getting them ready for testing, and testing was terrific as was expected. No issues on that front. We've now been back almost 2 weeks, 2 weeks today since testing, and the boys are working hard. It's not like a pre-season like the traditional pre-seasons when I played, really, when you were getting 7-8 weeks off and you really had to get players, put them through the mill and work them. We've been demanding of them, we've put a lot of sessions into them, but you're really just firing boys like this up. You know, they don't lose fitness, particularly ones that have been playing. The English-based lads a lot of the time maybe have 2 or 3 weeks longer, so we're mindful of that and giving them that extra jag at the right time of work. And then as you bring players in, hopefully, as I say, bring another couple in next week, their pre-season starts to look a bit different because we're into games, but we've also got to try and make sure there's a kind of a good core underneath all that of stamina work and work that's been needing to be done. So, but really pleased with how the players have been. There's obviously a lot of youngsters you see through the training. Ideally the squad will be a bit stronger in bulk in terms of numbers. I mean, a wee bit stretched even for this game tomorrow. And the most important thing is just getting through the game without injuries rather than the result. But we still want to go and give a good account of ourselves and try and go into next week's work. We've got another closed door game on Wednesday before we take on Annan on Saturday.
I'm sure the break would have given you a chance to reflect on last season as well. So your objective complete now, maybe a nervier ending to the season we would have hoped for, but Would you have taken 10th place at the start of the campaign?
I don't know if I'd have taken it. Probably, probably, yeah. I wanted us to give a better account of ourselves at times last season. The away record speaks for itself. It was awful, and you know, that's something that we know that if we can even just make small gains on the away form and maintain the home form, which has always been good since I've come in. You know, the home form would have got us into the European positions, and our away form would have got us relegated. So we need to try and make sure that that's better. And I think having maybe a bit more experience in the team, a lot of players playing the Premier League for the first time last season, they kind of rushed recruitment and not being fully ready. I think all that played a part early on in the season, and we lost a few games, and then it quickly became a thing. So I think looking back in last season, you know, getting to Hampden was pleasing. We should have got to Hampden in the Scottish Cup as well, which was a real blow for us. But I think we've seen enough that we can suggest we can be a good cup team, and we want to be that again. And sometimes that can be the best highlights of the season. But we managed to beat every team at Rugby Park, other than the Old Firm, I think it was. It's important for us to try and show that confidence and have that wherewithal, and nous away from home, pick up points when you're not at your best away from home, pick up mug teams off and pick up wins as well, and make sure we're good enough home and away. Because if we can do that, even if we just get another 4 wins on the road, then that takes you to top 6, and we're there or thereabouts. So that's what the objective is. I think short term the objective is just to continue to work hard on recruitment, get the best players we can, and try and utilise the budget that's afforded to me by the club. And it's a good budget, and it's important we try and utilise that to its maximum and get the best out of players that's been here already. I believe that we can give a far better account of ourselves. The demand shifts, as we said. Demand last season was to stay in the league. Demand the season before was to win the league, and the demand this season is to say, can we have a wrestle to get in to those higher positions in the top 6.
When you're sitting here this time next year, then what do you want to have achieved? What is the ultimate ambition?
I want to have won a cup, and I want to be in Europe. That's the ultimate ambition. I think we have got to be, words are cheap, and I think it's easy to say what you want to do. It's what you do on and off the pitch which is the most important thing. It's important first and foremost that we are a Premier League club again, but I think we've got to try and look beyond that. And if you're saying the ultimate ambition would be to win a cup, I don't see why we can't win a cup. I don't see why we can't be pushing for European spots, and that's what the objective hopefully will be this season.
In terms of the here and now, we're coming to the end of the week in Belfast. Has that been a productive week? Great facilities, 2 really tough opponents?
Yeah, I think it's the game's, you know, a good test for us. We're obviously, some of the boys are not ready to play 90 minutes, and we're mindful of that. And with the injuries, it kind of restricts us a wee bit. But we're also mindful that we want to try and get as many minutes into the players as possible, so that we can be as ready as we can be for the Annan game. But the facilities are great here. I like coming to Ireland, if it's Northern Ireland or Republic of Ireland, just to try and you know, the facilities are normally good. You get a good test. The food's good. It's no, you don't lose a day really travelling. We trained in the morning before we came here, done a gym session, and sometimes you go to Spain or wherever, Portugal, you lose 2 days of your pre-season, and we couldn't really afford to do that. We just felt as though that this was ticked all the boxes for us, and get back to Kilmarnock on Sunday ready to attack the work next week.